I will start the, oh, thank you, Gabrielle. With that, we are now live. Once again, good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for being with us here today. It's afternoon where I am. As I just said, I'm based in Brooklyn, New York, but it's such a joy to be with y'all in Northern California, virtually, of course. By way of introduction, I am our Director of Community Impact here at Network for Good. It's been such a joy to work with Megan, Carrie, and the Community Foundation team for now going on 3+ years, Megan. Pretty amazing. We are so excited to be bringing back our Jumpstart program. That will be our focus of today's discussion. Shortly, I will turn it over to Megan for some introductory words, but first, a little bit of housekeeping. This session is being recorded. So if you're like me and you're working from home and you have a four-legged creature who loves to interrupt during important meetings, or if you have another distraction on your end, just know that you can revisit this recording at your convenience. Megan will be sending it in follow-up by tomorrow. Shortly, we'll be getting into a slide deck as well. Take all the notes that you like, but just know that we will send out the slide deck and follow-up in that email tomorrow. And lastly, the learning doesn't end today. We will cover a lot of ground over the next hour together. But we are here to answer questions both during this session. I'm here with my colleagues, Gabrielle, Chala, and Taj. You'll get to meet Taj and Chala shortly. We're here to answer questions in the chat, and you'll also have an opportunity to schedule time with Gabrielle after this session. So she is very excited to meet y'all, ensure you have your questions answered as you consider this grant-funded opportunity brought to y'all by the Community Foundation and our funder partners. In that spirit, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Megan, for some introductory remarks, and I'll share my screen for our slides.
Sure. Well, I just want to echo thanks to all of you for making time to be here. We are so fortunate that a few years ago, we were contacted by Network for Good about this Jumpstart program. It's a really innovative program that helps nonprofits with their fundraising and capacity building. And when we first started learning about it, it was really right when COVID hit. And that was a terribly disruptive time for our North State nonprofits and nonprofits all over the world, especially those who really have relied on in-person fundraisers, all of the things that we used to do and now are continuing to do, like the crab feeds and things like that. But we really had this moment where we were like, gosh, like the crab feeds are great and they're so important, but we really need to try and do what we can to help nonprofits diversify their fundraising plans, get those plans in place, utilize online giving better. And so Jumpstart came to us at just a really great time. And we're so fortunate that we have some funding partners here today. So I want to make sure to thank them. And these names are going to be familiar to you, North Staters. So if you have contacts at these organizations, feel free to thank them. But the McConnell Foundation, based here in Reading, the Ford Family Foundation, which serves primarily Siskiyou County, and the Smullen Foundation. They're based in Humboldt County, but they serve our whole region. And then also the Community Foundation, we're the lead on this. So we've all just come together because as funders, we know that it's important that when grant dollars end, that you have other funding streams that you can use for operational dollars. So the non-grant projects, the payrolls, and the keeping the lights on, and all of those good things. So we just want to do what we can to help provide resources for groups as we're able to do that. And like other nonprofits, we're stretched pretty thin here at the Community Foundation. We're down 2 staff. There never seems to be enough time. And so Jumpstart's an opportunity for North State nonprofits to really get some amazing, super awesome top level fundraising training, not from us here at the Community Foundation, but from the experts. So we're just stoked to partner with you guys. I think that's it. Jack, if you want to take it away, unless I forgot something. Totally possible.
No, very, very well said, Megan. And I do, like you said, want to echo my appreciation for our funder partners, McConnell, Ford, and Smullen Foundations. Their contribution, their investment here in this way is so important, and really want to credit to the Community Foundation, especially you, Megan, for your leadership and continuing to sort of plant a flag and making intentional investments, going beyond the check and giving opportunity to North State nonprofits. And we're so humbled by the chance to partner with you and with our new cohort of Jumpstart participants, which we're so excited to bring together. So with introductions out of the way, probably should have put this slide up. I will be turning it over to Chala here in a moment. Chala is our community engagement manager and is a graduate of the Jumpstart program herself. So she has a lot of really uniquely positioned advice to bring to y'all and experiences to share. We'll then turn it over to Taj, who's our program manager. Taj will take us on a tour of the technology platform that's included as part of the Jumpstart program. As you'll learn, it's a material part of the program engagement, and Taj will take you on a tour of all the tools available to Jumpstart participants so that you can ensure that it perhaps is a good fit for your organization, a timely fit to power your back office fundraising prowess. So Taj will take us through that. We'll also get into some program expectations. This program has been tremendously helpful and indeed transformative for nonprofits across the country and in the North State. We'll actually go through some impact stories and see some direct testimonials from North State Jumpstart graduates. But we know that Jumpstart works if you work it. So we'll tell you what exactly that means and the expectations of organizations who really get the most out of the Jumpstart program. We'll then end with some questions and next steps. But like I said, certainly put those questions in the chat between myself, Taj, Chala, Gabrielle. There's 4 of us here. We're a bit outnumbered, but I think we'll be able to handle any questions that come in the chat. So please fire away. Otherwise, Chala, I'll turn it over to you. Take it away.
All right, thanks, Jack. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Really excited for all of you to be here and be able to share about Jumpstart and my Jumpstart journey. So we'll just jump right into it. Network for Good has been around for over 20 years, so we're a complete full adult. And our concentration has always been supporting small to mid-sized, mostly community-based organizations. And our core focus is on providing support in the area of fundraising with an emphasis on individual gifts. So we really look to help you build up your unrestricted dollars from individual giving. You might be aware of Network for Good's name. Maybe you've received emails or attended a webinar, or maybe you've received checks from us as we process online gifts in partnership with many different groups. But Jumpstart is a fundraising program, and as it says, that was built for you. The great thing about Jumpstart is that it's not one size fits all. So we really meet you where you are to help you grow and help you to be able to sustain the things that you learn in the program. And we have foundations from all over the country support this program for their nonprofit community, and it has been really powerful in helping those organizations grow their individual support. The concept was all about blending together resources that were historically separate, such as coaching, technology, and technical assistance and peer learning. So let's talk about who's on your Jumpstart team. So like any team, especially in football, you want to have a really great coach, you want to have great teammates, and then you want to have a really, really good quarterback. So on our team, we have our fundraising coach, our success team, and then our quarterback is you, the nonprofit leader. This is all about the human support that comes with the Jumpstart program. But more broadly, this slide shows all the folks involved in making this program successful and really, really work. I'll talk more about our coaches on the next slide, but they are the heart of the Jumpstart program. They are your strategic partner. They are both fundraising experts as well as a great, great teacher. The second piece, as far as your human support, is your team. So you have to have a successful team. And so our success team, they are a team of talented people who will assist with all things technical assistance. They start with the data support, consolidating your data, formatting, and organizing data. But they are also there in the form of individual meetings. When it comes to onboarding, they offer office hours every day and can be called on during business hours if you need them. They're really there to help you learn the system and how to best use the tools that you're receiving. So it's great to have tools, but if you don't know how to use the tools, then it's hard to say that it's supporting you or making an impact on your organization. So this is a great opportunity where you can work with some folks that really know the system well and can tell you how to best use it for your organization. Last but certainly not least is the nonprofit leader, our quarterback. So, and if you haven't been told this recently, you are a superhero and our communities greatly benefit from the work that you do every day. So pat yourselves on the back just for the work that you do, and you don't even think about it. You're just doing a great thing and wanted to support your communities, and we really appreciate the work that you're doing. Related to this program, success is found when the participating nonprofits put in the time. And as much as we can provide strategic help, technical assistance, and the tools, the reason this work has been successful is because the nonprofit leaders engage community and receive support from individuals. So let's talk about the fundraising coach. We source fundraising experts nationally. They average 19 years of fundraising experience. And on day one of the program, you will be provided with profiles and you would choose your coach. And so you will want to choose a coach that identifies with your organization. So whatever your missions are or the things that you're trying to achieve, you want to make sure that your coach aligns with those things. All of our coaches have a wealth of knowledge and have been doing this for many years, but you definitely want to make sure that you have a coach that you mesh well with, that will understand your organization and can help you to really tell the story that you're trying to tell to the community. It's a virtual engagement, and you would schedule your meetings with the coach through the platform that Kevin will Taj will show you in just a little bit. Kevin is our other teammate that sometimes does this part, so sorry about that. But Taj will show you how this all comes together. It's a virtual engagement like we are here now, and you would schedule this according to your availability. So it's not according to what's best for the coach, it's what's best for your time. And you want to make sure that you're making those 30-minute or 60-minute sessions at least bi-weekly. So that's when we find that you would have the most benefit if you're meeting with your coach regularly. As it says, their role is to help you see opportunities, understand trends, and implement solutions. They meet nonprofits where they are and assist organizations based off of their goals and fundraising aspirations. So let's talk about what are goals and fundraising aspirations with the Jumpstart program. And that's where we get into curriculum and milestones. So one of the things that I will tell you about curriculum and milestones from my own journey was that I can say that I had really small goals and milestones, and my coach really pushed me to say, you know what, Charlie, we can make more touchdowns. I was satisfied with just doing the hiring of my team because I was new to the organization. The team before me had already done the data integration of the Jumpstart process, so I missed that crazy time. But I came in where they had already kind of started using the system and getting familiar with the system, already bringing in donations and doing campaigns. And so during this time, when my CEO was like, hey, we have another meeting that I need you to attend with a coach, I was just like, great, another meeting. I did not want to have to meet again with someone. I felt like that was my first month was just meetings. So once I met with John, it was amazing. He was able to tell me exactly where the team before me had left off, what things we wanted to accomplish, and what goals they already had set up. So one of the things that he asked me was like, what is your goal for end of the year giving? I was like, I want to hire my team and raise $5,000. I was like, if we can do that, I think that's success. And he was like, you can do more than that. He was like, but I'm gonna show you how. We'll take it little bit by little bit. And we did that. And at the end of the year, when we looked back to be able to share with our board how much we had raised during our end of the year giving, we raised $38,000. We were not expecting that, but we were glad to see it. And so we were able to get those funds. A special shout out to our Memphis Grizzly players, Jaron Jackson Jr. and John Morant both made donations. We can't promise you that an NBA team or NFL team will give to you, but definitely if you do the work and you put into it, you can definitely make some big gains. So our milestones are a way to put some structure around a year-long program. Because again, this is not one size fits all, it's where you are. So you want to have some structure around that. They are essential goals created by the nonprofit and working with their coach from the beginning. Milestones are unique to each organization. They are truly goals, and there's no problem if an organization were not to meet their milestones, but we want to definitely have something that we can shoot for and say that we were able to accomplish and can kind of just rate where we are in that year-long time that we're working with our coach in the success team. So from here, I'm going to pass it back to Jack, and then he'll share more about the program, and then pass it over to Taj for some tech.
Thanks so much, Chala. Very well said. And before I turn it over to Taj for our platform tour, I'll share a couple things. One, Chala, suggested and intimated this, but our aim with the coaching is always to bring you someone who can be a strategic partner in the ways that you need it. There are a great many organizations on this call. Looks like over 50 participants here. So surely some folks from multiple folks from the same organization, I'm sure, but no doubt a great diversity and a great array of organizations represented here today. Every single one of you are at a different stage with your fundraising process. Some of y'all might be in a place where you have a plan in place and it's generally worked pretty well, and you have events and you are stewarding donors accordingly, sharing updates, and that's fantastic, and we can certainly help you augment what you're doing well. But for a lot of you, it may be, gosh, we really just need to put a plan in place. We need to identify, our story and our core messaging strategy. Wherever you are in your fundraising journey, know that we're here to meet you there. Our coaches are not trained and have deep experience. They're not trained to leverage their deep experience to tell you what to do. They can in certain ways, but our aim is always to position them to be partners to you, and ultimately tell your story and engage community in the way that you see fit. Your work and the people that you serve, the communities that you serve better than we do. Our coaches bring deep experience to the fold, but ultimately you have it in you, and our coaches are here to help you and your stakeholders, your teammates, build a fundraising strategy that makes sense, given your limitations too: time, staffing, resources, all surely limitations for many on this call. But with that said, let's go ahead and turn it over to Taj for our platform tour. As you go through this, as Taj shows you all the different tools that we offer through our fundraising platform, keep in mind that we do ask you that you use this platform during the program. It's a material part of it, and it's what I like to say, where the magic happens. By using this tool, you'll have an opportunity to engage donors in new ways, think about your donor data in different ways, get better insight into trends and opportunities to steward donors accordingly, share more about your work, and ultimately build a lot of efficiencies that will save you time in the long run, whereas you might be doing a lot of these things manually now. Using all of this can be daunting, no doubt. It's a lot to reckon with as you look through this, as Taj does his demo. It surely will be a lot. Just bear in mind that stepping up and leveraging a tool like this can be transformational, but it really does require sort of embracing of new and innovative ways. We are in a digital world now, and this can be a great way to take that foray if you haven't yet. And for those who currently are using a system, but you're not liking it or you're not getting as much out of it, this could be a great fit for you. But if you have a system that you like, we're not here to interrupt what's working. So bear that in mind as well. But with all that said, I will turn it over to you, Taj, to take us through our platform tour.
Thanks, Jack. Hi, everyone. I'm Taj. I'm the program manager for the Jumpstart program. My role with the Jumpstart team is to help all of our Jumpstarters make the most out of the program experience. For today, I am joining this inspiration session to give you a little tour of the donor management system and show you the tools. Since we have such a big Zoom party here, I can't help but to start with a little joke. So what do you call it when Batman skips church? Christian Bale. All right, so hope that landed with some of y'all. It's hard to tell on Zoom, but I certainly like that joke. It's funny. But yeah, so a little bit of background on myself before I hop into these tools is I started a nonprofit in Dallas, Texas called Dancing for a Cause. And its mission is to unite individuals under the common passion of dance. And with that common passion, create a large student volunteering body to raise money for charity beneficiaries. So we raise a lot of money for different charities. And with that being said, fundraising was very difficult for me. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. I certainly didn't have this tool or a Jumpstart program to help me during my time. But if I were to go back and do it all over again, I definitely would try to be something like this, or I wish I had something like this in front of me. We did a lot of great work, but individual giving really is an important way to diversify your funds, because nonprofits, yeah, we get grants, which by the way are competitive. But when you get individual funds coming in, you have a lot more flexibility as an organization. But to raise those funds from individuals, having a tool in place to help you track your donors, know your donors, and also be more creative with your storytelling is essential to raising more funds. So that's why I'm excited to be in this position now, where I can help other nonprofits get what I wish I had time. So here you go, right? So let's hop into the tools. This is the donor management system. And again, it's designed with donors in mind, right? So it's designed for you to track your donors, your donations coming in. It's also designed for you to campaign and create campaign pages for online giving. Also track your giving, like pull reports. It integrates with QuickBooks Online. It's an accounting software, so it has a direct integration with that. So it's meant to be your all-in-one experience when it comes to fundraising. So this is a cloud deployed platform. So as long as you have access to internet, you can access this platform. The user interface will actually adjust if you're like, say, on a phone or a tablet, it will adjust to that. So again, as long as you have access to internet, you can, access this on the go. Just remember your password, which even then you could click forgot your password and still get in there. There are a lot of bells and whistles to the platform. I'll try not to be too specific, but I'm gonna give you a little overview so you get an idea and a gist of how you could potentially utilize this. So we'll go over the dashboard, some of the communication features, as well as hopefully get into a contact card as well. So this is the main dashboard here. You can see this is your like chart over the year. This gives you like a bird's eye view of your fundraising health as an organization. Shows you what you've raised this year, your average donation size. Down here at the bottom, you can see the number of donations, what you raised this month, and also from the past year, like how are we treading statistically? Are we over? Are we under? This gives you that point of view. Just off the main dashboard. And scrolling further down, these are your designations. So these are your year-to-date donation totals towards specific designations you've set up in the system. So depending on your organization and what you're raising money towards, you can customize this to fit your strategic initiatives and goals. So what you see here, these can be edited. You can add more. And you can see how all your funds are being allocated towards those specific designations. Below that, oh, sorry, one more thing is these designations, these can also show up on your giving pages, which I'll show you examples of that. Below that, this is your donut chart. So this shows you your donors, right? Like whether they're an active donor or a lapsed donor. A lapsed donor in the system means they donated last year, but not this calendar year. So they will be identified and shown right here on your main dashboard. You can see all your recurring donors. You can see we have 0, something we'd want to work on here. 42 donors this year, and also your year-over-year retention rates. Donor retention rates means the donors that you've retained. What I really like about Network for Good and what we do here is like we like to sprinkle in best practices and resources into the system. So you can see here, learn more about donor retention rates. And some of the key things about retention rates is if you have a donor that you've retained, it actually costs more to acquire a new donor versus retaining one. And also a retained donor, they're more likely to give a larger gift size compared to someone freshly giving to your organization. So it's good to keep track of this and know who your retained donors are, know their average gift size, so that when you're putting out that ask, you put the most like high yielding potential ask you can do. So but you can't do that unless you know who are your retained donors and what their stats are. So that's the donut chart. Further down, these are your campaigns section. So this is what I was talking about with like narrating your story and getting your story out there and campaigning effectively. This platform, you can create 3 types of campaign pages. One is an everyday giving page, another is an events light page, and the last one is a peer-to-peer fundraising page. I'm going to show you examples of all 3. But you can create unlimited campaign pages. So as many as you'd like, you can create. They're all saved. You can archive them. You could delete them, whatever you'd like to do. But all these campaign pages, you can create as many as you'd like. So let's get into some examples of those. So this is Girls Inc. of the Northern Sacramento Valley. Shout out to them. This is their giving page. You can see their logo is up here. These are all templatized, and you could customize them to fit your organization's brand aesthetic. You could change the colorway so that it fits your color scheme as an organization as well. So put your logo here, cover photo. This is your nice little donation box. Put a headliner statement. And down below is more description on your campaign. You can embed a video. So Girl Think embedded a nice video here. So this is their everyday giving page. So what would happen is you can take this link, this hyperlink right here, you could copy it and you could paste it into your current donate now page so that your web traffic will be then sent to the secured donation processing page. This is a highest level PCI compliance page. So that means up to highest level of payment card industry. Your donor dollars are secured. Your donor donation information is secured. All your data is secured, and no one's using it for, no one's hijacking it. It's all yours. So you can be rest assured that it's all secured on that front. So this is an example of everyday giving page. Another thing about all of our campaign pages is if anyone donates through these pages, there's a flat 3% transaction fee. And those transaction fees are for credit card processing. And anyone who does donate through these pages, they're prompted to cover that 3% transaction fee such that your organization can receive the full donation amount. So again, you can be rest assured that that is also prompted during the donation experience so that you receive the full, past the credit card processing fees, full amount. Let's do another example of an everyday giving page. This is Project Spark Studio, another powerhouse Jumpstarter of ours. We're proud of them. Shout out to them. This is their page. You see, you want to make sure you have a nice cover page with like smiling faces there. That's the best practice. Very inviting page. Their colorway, you can see it's adjusted to their logo color. They have impact statements, so a little bit different from the other one. This one has actual statements underneath of how the donor's dollars can tie to the donation, tied to the impact that it creates. So this is a best practice actually that our coaches encourage, is to create, impact amounts and how much that specifically, how that can help towards a specific cause area within the mission. So it's another great page. So yeah, those are the two everyday giving pages. Let's show you an example of the second type of page, which is an events light page. So this is, for your events, this is a basic events feature where you can include your event, your where when it is, where it is, a photo here, social sharing links, description of your event, add some photos. You can embed a video here as well. This is an events light page. Events light pages are included in the Jumpstart package. There is another feature called essential events, which are not included in the Jumpstart package. Essential events, the difference between essential events and events light is essential events is more geared towards like larger scale events, like more robust events. You have a lot going on for that event. It's not included in the Jumpstart package, but if it's something that you do want to like add on to your service, you can always meet with one of our team members throughout your Jumpstart year anytime and look into some options there and see if it's something you want to invest into as an organization. But you do get events light included in your Jumpstart package. The main difference between those two is events light, you can have unlimited free registrations and up to 50 paid tickets. And after 50 paid tickets, it's $1 per ticket. Now, if you're having multiple ticket types where you're doing like a sponsorship ticket or like different ticket tiers, have like a big gala coming up or something, that's when it's an essential event. And it has a lot more features packed into an essential events feature. Again, it's not included, but if you find yourself needing something like that, it's not it's just a phone call away. You just talk about it and make it happen. So that's the events pages. The last page is a peer-to-peer fundraising page. Peer-to-peer fundraising, if you're not familiar with what that is, it's basically like a crowd fundraising tool. So you'll create the main peer-to-peer page and your supporters and donors can come to this page. They could either donate or they could join the campaign and create a page as well. And when they create a page, everyone who donates to their page, all those donations go to your overall peer-to-peer fundraiser. So on this page, for example, help us build a new surgical suite. So we're building a surgical suite, $400,000 goal. Shows you some stats here on the page, everyone who's donated, some supporters list, add a video. And on this page, people could come here. As I said, you can either start fundraising or donate on the page. So we'll click start fundraising, and you're walked through a simple 5-step process. And then, once you're done with that, your page is created. And right here, Matt Fetty, he created a page. Everyone who donated to his page, you capture that donor information. So that's a really nice perk to this campaign strategy, is not only are you like rallying support, getting more of your donors kind of part of the process, and building up donor affinity with your organization, but you're also expanding your audience because you're tapping into the network of your current donors and supporters to advocate on behalf of your organization. So if you want to expand your audience further, this is a really great route to do that. And it's included in your campaign pages. All of these campaign pages, when you create them, they all populate here on your dashboard. You can view all. So everything that you've created historically in the past, they'll all be here. You can see how they did. And one neat thing that you can do just right off the campaign pages here, you can see here the new surgical suite. We have 39K raised here. We'll go to donors. If under actions, we'll click donors. So this will show us everyone who donated to this specific campaign page that we created. So let's say there's a couple things we can do here. So we can click select all, and under bulk actions, you can either send them a communication right off the page here, whether it's a video message, an email blast, a text message. You could create a direct mail appeal in the platform, or you could add them to a group. If you don't want to communicate, you just want to create like some targeted groups, you could add them to a group. You could create a new group, or you could export the data entirely and do whatever you'd like or is needed for your organization. But that's what's really neat about this like kind of user interface is you don't have to take all this data and then move it to MailChimp or Google Mail or Outlook. You just stay in one place and send out a touch point right off the page. So again, it's meant to be an all-in-one experience. Fundraising is more than just raising the funds, but also that follow-up and communication aspect of it. So there is a communication aspect to the tool. I'll walk you further through that, but let's knock out the dashboard and then we'll get into some of the communication features. So right here on the right-hand side, so we just finished campaigns. On the right-hand side, you could see like a little bit like a log of information, right? So this is your activity feed. So whatever happens in the platform, it's all going to be tracked here. So you can see whether it's an administrative function that occurred, a donation function that occurred. It's going to all populate here, and you could also filter it if you want to see specific information. So let's say we want to see all of our ticket purchases recently. We got a ticket event happening. What's going on? I'm on the dashboard. I don't got time. Boom. You just go right here and just get a nice glance, right? Another part of the dashboard here up top is the task feature. So under the task feature, this is a great way to just be on top of your to-dos. So if you have a specific task you want to make sure you do, such as like scheduling, or you should definitely schedule time with your coach, which I'll show you how to do that. But let's say we want to remind ourselves to follow up with major donors, because we're never doing that, right? So I'm going to put that here. We're going to assign it to a team member, and you can assign it to a specific user on the platform, which you can create unlimited users on the platform. So as many team members as you want and can get involved in fundraising, you can put them in here. There's no cap to that. So you can assign it to a user, and you can set their different levels of access as well. You can set up a due date. And then under advanced options, there's some more information you can include here. You could include a description, maybe some more specifics. And then you can add a reminder. So let's say we'll do like a 4-day reminder. So what will happen is Jeff Schneider, he'll receive a reminder 4 days out about this specific task in his email. So just a great way to get more folks involved. When you create the task, it does populate here. It shows an acronym of the person it's assigned to. So it's a good way to just get more people involved on the fundraising process. Get all hands on deck approach. So that's the main dashboard here. Now that's a lot, right? Now, as an organizer, like there's so many things you might want to do. You're not sure what do I do? Should I email? Should I video message? Right? And that's what's great about Jumpstart is you get the technology and you get the coaching. So you actually have a certified fundraising professional you can reach out and connect with, go over all your data together. So under my tools is where you can click personal fundraising coach, and you can select time with your coach, schedule a session, go over your recent campaigns, go over your goals, strategy, like your questions, comments, concerns, whatever you have, and just make a strategic decision together. Instead of feeling like you're the only one making all the fundraising decisions, you have a certified professional with some expert opinion to work with you. And this person, they work with you for a year, right? So you're building up a professional relationship too. It's not like you see them once every so often. Like you create a rhythm with them, and they really get to know you and your organization. So if you put in the time and effort, this will certainly bring back a lot of value to you. So we always encourage that, like, have your coach be in this portal, schedule time with your coach, make the very most out of that experience. So one last thing I want to show you guys is the communications feature. So right here so we went through the whole dashboard, showed you where the coaching portal is. And then on the left-hand side here, we have communications tab. This is where all your communication features will exist. So if you wanna, let's go into the email blast gallery. So these are all your emails. Any email you've ever created will exist here that you shoot through this system. If you send out an email through here, you could actually also see its results. So you want to see like how many it's been sent to, its open rate, its click rate, if any contacts bounced, and also if any funds were raised from that, right? And just see if it wasn't an effective email campaign. So it gives you some feedback data that you could build off of with your emails. But let's show you how the email gallery looks. So right here under view the gallery, this is very unique to our platform. These are built by our coaches. So all of these are nonprofit language baked into it, best practice in mind. You have like a tag, high engagement tag, recommended tag. This means statistically, like there's data that backs up that this template is useful, right? So you want to, if you're making a thank you message, you don't have to start from scratch. You can start customizing right here off the page. And then you're walked through a very simple like visual email builder tool, something you may be used to already. So you just click edit, drag, drop. You want to add something like a video, boom, add the URL. Once it's good to go, save and continue. A couple more steps here. Subject line, your from and reply email address. You have your recipients list here. This is where that targeted messaging comes into play. You could just blast to everyone, or this is really the best practice here. If you want to do some like targeted messaging, there's saved filters as well. There's recommended filters, or you could just send a one-off email to a specific individual. So all of that is here. And then when you click next, you can schedule the delivery to go out, sometime this week or, whatever makes sense for you. You send it right away, or send a test email. This is probably, you should probably do this first. And then, so yeah, that's basically it, right? That's the email gallery and email experience right here. So I'm going to save and exit because this will actually send something out. So I don't want to spam anyone. But that is the donor management. There's more to it, right? There's other stuff. I didn't like show you everything. But we are happy to meet with anyone who wants to do like a deeper dive and go over any specific questions. but I hope this gives you a general idea of how you could potentially leverage it if it's something that makes sense for your organization at this time. And keep in mind, it's not just a tool. You get the tool and you get coaching throughout the year. So that goes hand in hand. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to Jack. Appreciate everyone's time and attention.
Thanks so much, Taj. As Taj said, we are more than happy and excited about meeting with y'all. We just covered a lot of ground, no doubt. And I think, again, as I mentioned earlier, everyone here is in a different place with their fundraising journey and with their technology utilization. We're here to help. Gabrielle put her calendar link in the chat, so feel free to make time with her to get questions answered, take a deeper dive into any part of the platform that you might want to learn more about, and keep those questions coming in the chat too. Arturo, I just read your 30-minute donation campaign idea. First of all, I love it. Second of all, yeah, absolutely, you can leverage our platform to conduct that. And our coaches are adept at helping you get the most out of these sort of unique targeted campaigns. If you have 100 people at that dinner and your campaign page, projected on the screen, you can refresh it and see the thermometer going up in real time. So I really love that idea, and that's a great example of the power of technology and the guidance that we bring through our coaches to help get the most out of technology and empowering donors to give in new and different ways. So with all that said, I will go ahead and get back into our slide deck and just reiterate that this program can be quite helpful. I'm going to share some impact stories of North State Jumpstarters. It can indeed be transformative, but it does take time to work it, and I'll get into a bit more specifics of the sort of time that you might expect to contribute as an organization toward making this program as effective as it can be. And I say that because the following leaders certainly did commit the time and worked the program in a way that helped power fantastic outcomes for their organizations. Starting here with Empower Tehama, Jennifer really leaned into the program. They had a big staffing transition in the middle of the program, and were overnight sort of beset with time and staffing shortage. So big credit to them for leaning in, Jennifer and her team. And I think Jennifer speaks for a lot of organizations, surely, on this call. Unrestricted funding is vital for the many services that ET offers. They were unable to secure grant funding for a specific project, and the Jumpstart program helped them raise unrestricted funding from individual donors to help secure that funding and ensure that the START program persisted. So a great example of sort of the specific but powerful ways that Jumpstart can help animate giving and rally donors behind a specific program or service area, or just to raise general operational support. At the end of their year-long program journey, Empower Tehama raised over $20,000 in net new fundraising revenue. That was a 56% growth for them year over year. As you can see, they leveraged our campaign tools and our email blast tools, our other communications methods to engage community and generate those positive outcomes. Jennifer says it's a very simple program to use. The coaching is wonderful. But she says, as I said, that nonprofits really do need to have the time to dedicate to it. That's critical. But again, all credit to them for really leaning in and engaging the program. And you already saw a campaign from Project Spark Studio, one of our pilot Jumpstarters. Marianne and the team at Spark, not to get too cheeky, but they really did spark their fundraising through Jumpstart. They leveraged every tool in their bag through the campaigns, the communications, donor acknowledgement templates. Someone asked about sort of the automations, and anytime a gift comes in online, that's automatically populated in your donor management system to make that very clear. You can also set up an automatic thank you to go out so they get thanked right away. And then we always encourage a more personal touch in terms of another acknowledgement that's more targeted and personalized, in the following days. But getting thanked right away is nice. And they also get a tax receipt in real time. And as Marianne says, it's really helpful at having everything all together. So they were right at the beginning of their fundraising journey and raised a somewhat modest $2,000 in fundraising growth year over year. but they acquired 27 new donors and have since continued on their trajectory upward. A lot of their Jumpstart engagement was creating the conditions for long-term resilience and sustainability. The important work that they do, finding a voice and finding a sort of foothold and story that they can leverage in a lot of different ways. Marianne has some more things to say, of course, about her coach, the technical team that we have being amazing, and what might have taken years for them happened in just 6 months. So it really can be a jumpstart, and we'll send this slide deck afterward, of course, so you can fully digest these words. Next, we're going to go to Girls Inc., who you also saw. Todd shared a campaign that they ran. Heather just really worked it. She describes Jumpstart as an absolutely amazing program. Coach was extremely helpful. The program is what you make of it. That's absolutely true. They just had a great partnership with their coach, Andrea. They used every tool in the Jumpstart bag, from the email blast to video messages, text to give, raised over $41,000 in fundraising growth, a fairly staggering 225% growth. That's triple what they raised in the year prior, acquired nearly 40 new donors. It really was just a glowing success for them. But again, whether it's $40,000, whether it's $2,000, there's lots of different ways to measure success in this program. And sometimes it does result in big, fruitful fundraising outcomes. Other times it is, like I said, creating the foundation for future success. So Heather says they were able to offer more services for our girls, as well as generate unrestricted funding, which has allowed them to be more, to have more time for future planning. Lastly, Siskiyou Economic Development. They came in very early stage in their fundraising journey. And Amanda says it significantly impacted their organization through the CRM/donor processor, event management, donor communication tools with us at Network for Good. Again, this was a true jumpstart for their private funding campaigns. That's our core focus. To make it clear, you've probably learned at this point that we are all about helping you engage community, individual donors, households, recurring gifts, major gifts. That's where we specialize and where we're prepared to help you. Generating unrestricted funding is hard. Fundraising generally is hard, but we're here to hopefully make it a bit easier, make it more effective and time effective. And it certainly was for Siskiyou Economic Development. They raised, after raising just $3,000 in the year prior, less than $3,000 in the year prior to Jumpstart, they had a phenomenal spurt of growth, raising over $26,000 during Jumpstart. Pretty staggering result for them. All credit to their hard work for really leaning in and embracing the process. Amanda says the program provides vital resources, assistance, and guidance to regional nonprofits that would otherwise not have access. Combination of practical resources and guided advisory services is paramount to ensuring the growth and success of these organizations. I love how she put it. That's exactly was our intention in bringing this program together. And thanks to our partners in the North State, it's coming to you at a drastically reduced cost, which we will talk about here in a moment. Well, with 10 minutes left, please feel free to keep those questions coming. I do want to talk about sort of the first 60 days of the program. For many, it happens sooner, but for some, it does take that long. And that is, the data readiness portion of the Jumpstart experience. So we found that in building this program, one of the first and biggest mountains to climb is getting our nonprofit partners to a place where they feel really good about their donor data. A great many nonprofits leaders come to us with email lists and PayPal lists, some sort of donor list, right? A lot of legacy data, but it's in spreadsheets or sticky notes. Maybe there's a legacy system where it's just kind of been sitting there and you've been, more of a repository for data rather than something that's actionably helping you. Many nonprofits come to us in that place where they have yet to fully, embrace what data integrity might look like. And so we've invested a lot of time and talent and resources into the initial data readiness phase of the program, not because it's the most fun thing to do. That's certainly not the case, but because it's incredibly important to build a foundation for long-term sustainable fundraising outcomes. So it all starts with a 3-hour session on day 1 of the program called our Data Bootcamp. It's about as fun as it sounds, but it's really important, we found, to bring you One, the human support, data specialists that we have on staff who do this thing for a living, to help you, no matter what situation your data is in, get it to a place where it is consolidated and formatted, cleaned, such that you can then import it into your new donor management system. Whether you have a list of 20 names or 50 names or thousands, we want to give you the real-time hands-on support and the expertise necessary to get your data into a good place, maybe not a perfect place, but a good place, so that you can begin working with your coach that much sooner, that much more effectively. That's really how it starts. When it comes to some of the things Taj showed us, if you have a contact universe of 100 names, they've all engaged in you in different ways, right? So some maybe have contributed and gone to an event. Others have been giving for years. Others haven't made a gift yet. So we need to be having different targeted, relevant dialogues with those constituents. And good data and good systems can help you do that. So it all starts with that data boot camp. If you have a system that you're using currently, there's a very good chance we've helped folks migrate from it before. But that's where we certainly would welcome you to discuss with Gabrielle in your one-on-one meetings. Tell us a bit more about your current back-end infrastructure, where your data is living, and how we might help make it more actionable and get it into a place where you can use it in a meaningful way. So that's data. In terms of the second year following the grant-funded period, which we'll talk about at the end. So this program is slated to begin in July. It's a year-long program. So beginning this July 2023 through July 2024. At the end of the year-long program, you'll have a choice to make. You can choose to reinvest in the platform if you'd like to continue working with us and sort of establish a partnership. That's always our great hope, is that we earn your partnership. And if you do choose to continue working with us, the platform comes at a flat rate of $200 per month. For some, it may seem like a daunting figure right now to think about a line item in your budget for a platform. But know that the program is designed to help sustain itself. If we do our job and show up and you commit the time, as we've seen with some of the stories we shared, the program can be very fruitful and pay for itself, sometimes several times over. That's the power of investing in, technical infrastructure, in tools and time-saving opportunities, powerful ways to inspire and empower donors and community. That's the sort of the muscle and sort of the power of technology. So if you make that decision, wonderful. I think about 80% of North State Jumpstarters have chosen to reinvest in themselves and continue working with us for another year. That said, we are not the perfect platform for everyone. We know that. If nothing else, we hope that your program experience helps you, one, get great value out of the coaching, ensure that you can build plans and strategies, messages, campaigns, and events that you can rinse and repeat, getting a ton of value out of the coaching engagement that is very personalized, very relevant, very relative to your organization, but also can help you learn about what's right for us long term in the way of a back end platform to help manage all of these different things related to development. If you make that assessment and determine that Network for Good's not the right fit for you, that's great, because you figured out sort of what you might need in the way of a long-term fit. So if you do make that choice to move on from the platform, we take that decision very seriously, and we will help you consolidate and export your data so that you can take it on to whatever might be next for you. So hope that is all making sense. So we'll go through some program requirements, and Megan, feel free to unmute and go through this section if you'd like. I'm happy to do it as well.
Sure. So what we have found, and what Network for Good has found, this program's been operating for many years, and this is our third year, is that there is really like a sweet spot group for Jumpstart. There's just a place where groups can benefit the most. And so we're going to kind of go over what some of those categories are that would make your group a good fit for this program. So the requirement is that your organization is a 501c3 nonprofit. So this is not for public agencies. This is not for fiscally sponsored programs, but for actual 501c3 charities, both headquartered in and then primarily serving either Shasta, Siskiyou, or Tehama counties. And organizations tend to make a great fit for Jumpstart if they have one full-time employee, $15,000 raised from individual donors and 50 donors or a contact list of 100 or more people. So that's not to say that if you don't fit under that, that you can't apply. You can certainly apply, but this is a competitive program and we want to be respectful of your time. And so this is kind of what we have all found collectively to be some kind of signs to us that groups are in the right place to really benefit from this program. We at the Community Foundation, along with our funding partners and Network for Good, are covering the bulk of the program cost. If you were to pay for this at market rate, it's over $6,000 for the year. As you can imagine, it's not like attending a one-time workshop or a one-time conference. This is like a big deal, year-long investment in personal care. So, but for you, the nonprofit, there is just a small cost sharing of $250 to participate. So it's a tiny investment in money. It's quite a bit of investment in time. We just want to make sure that groups that are selected for the program really have some skin in the game and are committed to the time that it takes to take advantage of it.
Very well said, Megan. I saw one question in the chat about friends of organizations. Maureen, we encourage you to apply. We work with a great many friends of groups, especially if they fit the requirements that were on, not requirements rather, but encouraging, good fit criteria that Megan mentioned on this slide. Feel free to move forward in or have the friends of group move forward in the process. In terms of program expectations, we have two of them. So one is primarily for those, and I think probably many on this call who don't yet have dedicated development staff. Big question is, as an organization, can you collectively commit a minimum of 5 hours a week on average to fundraising activities? Now, there's a lot to unpack there. One, it's not 5 hours dedicated exclusively to Jumpstart. We're not clocking you in and out here. That's not what we're here to do. But we do know that 5 hours, really a prolonged commitment to time to fundraising activities is what's going to move the needle. And that's the case whether you're doing Jumpstart or trying to build it on your own. It requires that prolonged commitment to time. That time commitment can be shared by multiple staff members or stakeholders, and it's on average. So we know that some weeks are going to be more, some less. But generally that's what we found is, what high performing organizations commit in the way of time. So we ask you to do your best to get to that time commitment. And the second, and this is a big one, of course, is your organization willing to leverage this new technology, this new platform that we shared today that is hopefully exciting, hopefully something that you see as, potentially very additive to your fundraising strategy and planning and execution. But we do ask that you lean in, that you engage in the process. And part of that is leveraging the platform in addition to meeting with your coach, taking action on their guidance and working in partnership with them to build strategy and engage community. So we're coming up on time here. Couple action items. The one is to keep your eye out. We will be sending a follow-up email. Megan will come from Megan with today's recording, slide deck, and a calendar link to meet with Gabrielle on the Jumpstart team. She's so excited to meet with y'all and answer your questions. You have ample time to do these things. You'll have them to Friday, June 30th. The other thing to do, if either before or after you meet with Gabrielle, if you're interested and curious enough about this opportunity and would like to throw your hat in the ring, we've worked together with the Community Foundation and our partners to curate, I think, a very low lift process. It's a 10 to 15 minute needs assessment that we will send out, or Megan will send out in that follow-up email. So hopefully not too burdensome. It's largely around your existing fundraising capacities and some of the things that we covered in the last few slides on the good fit requirements. And then again, the deadline to submit is Friday, June 30th. So between scheduling your time with Gabrielle and completing that needs assessment, those are your two steps to move forward in the process. And with that, we're coming up. We're actually past time now. Good grief, that went by fast. Megan, would you like to add anything else?
Just that, we know that it's summer, there's graduations, there's travel, so we wanted to give you plenty of time. So you've got most of the month to fill this out. It really only does take about 15 minutes. We just try and want to make sure we understand where you're at and that we do our best with our funding partners to select groups that are best ready to take advantage of this program. I did want to add that if you are a larger organization that has kind of complex things like your membership based, like maybe museums or groups like that use like cash register point of sales, and you want to know more about how those types of things all integrate, make sure that you do schedule time with Gabrielle to really like suss that out. Because again, we just want to make sure that we're not wasting anyone's time and that we're making sure that this could be a fit for you if you're going to go through the time to apply.
Very well said, Megan. Well, I'll go back in our Brady Bunch format and just say thank you so much, everyone, for your time today. Thanks for being with us, and deep appreciation to the Community Foundation and our other funder partners for bringing this program to North State nonprofits at a drastically reduced cost. The investment and the grant funding go a long way in our ability to help serve and partner with y'all. So we'll be in touch, and so excited to meet y'all. Hope you have a great rest of your days, and we'll be in touch.
Yeah, thank you all so much. It's on my calendar to send out the info this afternoon once it's all the recording spooled and all of that stuff. But if you don't get it this afternoon, hopefully by tomorrow, fingers crossed, no disasters. That's the goal. So, all right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for your time and for all the good work you do for others here in the North State. We appreciate you, hard workers. Thank you.